Hey, it's Frankie here. We're going to be talking about how to sell SEO services to local businesses. Let's get into it. So you guys are down here on the beach with me in Mexico. Maybe not quite in the beach. We got a little dirt farm between us and the beach. And I know a lot of you guys out there sell SEO and you got your packages. And SEO is a pretty tricky thing, by the way. When I first started in 2007-ish, believe it or not, there weren't a lot of people doing SEO, and I was in demand. Give it about 14 years later, and 100,000 asshole marketers, and it's one of those things that's really been ruined for business owners. And I know a lot of you guys out there actually have really good SEO. You know how to rank stuff, you know how to build links, you know how to optimize Google My Business listings, and a lot of these business owners are really jaded. So I wanted to give you guys a shortcut that you can use to make your life easier. First is to understand that, you know, the common experience that people have had over 10 years of hiring somebody for SEO is that somebody comes in and says to your client, they say, hey, I'm going to get you number one in the Google, you're going to make millions of dollars, you're going to have all the clients, customers, and patients that you ever want, and you're just going to be raking in the cash. And so they give it a try and they pay this person. And a couple months go by, and nothing, and that person says, well, we just have to wait a little longer. Google takes a while. And then another couple of months, and there's a lot of shitty people that never get there and never get any rankings, and so they just pay for 6 or 12 months and get promises of a good life later that never really comes. So one of the biggest things that you can do in order to sell your SEO services is transparency about what you are going to do in order to build backlinks. So I'll give you an example. One of our guys in our mastermind who's totally crushing it, by the way, selling, $5,000 a month SEO packages by the, he's signing up 2-3 clients a week every week. And one of the things that he's doing is he shows them a step-by-step plan of how he actually does his SEO. So he shows them example press releases he's going to get them. He shows them examples of the kind of citations he built. These are probably normal, everyday things that you do in SEO, but don't make a big deal out of it because we don't understand how important it is, that transparency factor, especially when someone has been burned again and again and again for something, that just kind of like has more bad people than good in it. And I know if you're watching this that you're one of the good people. If you're asking that question, you probably have a great service and just want to, get more local clients. So another thing that you can do, by the way, is shrink the size of the commitment, especially if you're in the beginning and you don't have like a huge client. If you have 45 clients you can show amazing results for, it's a different story. But if you're getting started and you got 2 or 3 or maybe 10 and you're doing well, instead of saying, we have to sign up for a year-long package, is just to sign up and say, hey, I'm not going to be able to get you number one in 60 days or 90 days, but I can show you movement in the right direction, that we're actually capable of doing this, and set some very realistic goals and say, why don't we go for a 90-day trial? And what'll happen inevitably is 90 days, if you do well, will turn into 6 months, a year, 2 years, and those things. But it's far easier to get a yes to a 90-day trial than it is to a 2-year contract. So this is one of those things about SEO that we don't really think about, is from an offer perspective, it's actually very difficult for our clients to say yes to us, right? Because what we're talking about here is, give me a lot of money up front every month and wait a long time, and there's no guarantee it's going to work. When you think about that from an offer perspective, that's a very easy thing to say no to. So one of the things you got to do is think about, how can I make my offer easier to say yes to? Another thing you can do, by the way, is to aim your messaging or your SEO so that it helps them big in their biggest and most valuable clients or patients or whatever. So for example, if you're working with dentists, if a dentist gets a new patient and they come in the door and they get their teeth checked, they might make $100, and I'm sure they have overhead costs, so they don't necessarily even really keep anything on that $100. You can also help a dentist get new veneers or dental implants in the door, and they might make 30 grand off somebody with a set of veneers. So if you're going to help a dentist rank, it's a whole lot less work for you if you're going to help them rank for those dental implants and veneers and those kind of things. And in every niche, there's an equivalent of that for you. So one of the things you can do to make your SEO more valuable and more easy to say yes to is to focus on helping them rank for their, not just like highest volume keywords, but the quality over quantity kind of keywords. And if you do that and you focus on those two things, and what you'll find is when you run funnels, because everybody thinks like, I need a funnel or I need more sales calls, but at the end of it, you're going to make an offer. And if your offer is, give me a lot of money, wait a long time, and then there's no guarantees it's going to work, you're going to have a hard time selling that. But if your offer becomes, hey, let's do a little short trial to see that it works. I'm going to give you all this transparency to show you what I'm doing, and we're going to aim it at your highest, most valuable people, you're going to find it a whole lot easier to sell local SEO service. So I hope that helps you guys, makes a lot of sense, because I've done this for a lot of years, and I'll tell you, SEO is a tricky thing to sell when a lot of people have ruined that word before you and kind of sabotaged it, which is not your fault, I understand, but so yeah, so do that, and what you'll find is you have an easier offer to say yes to, and then the whole thing kind of just flows downhill and you get to kind of swim in the water like the pool there. So I hope that's helpful to you guys, and may the force be with you, and make sure to subscribe.